What's up, guys? This is another episode of Off the Post, and we are all smiles here. And we are going to talk about a great game this week that had us all excited because there's tons of goals, and that's what you people always like. The big score, blowout, tons of goals gives you a feel to the old times where we used to beat every team like that, and we used to complain about the competition being too weak. Let's see how the panelists are doing. Wait a minute, what's happening with my panelists? Why are there two panelists in one box? We're going to ask them about that in a second, maybe. No, we'll see what's up. First, let's go to Danielle, one panelist in one box. How have you been doing, Danielle?
Just me. I know I've been good. I just got back from Dallas. I was at the qualifiers, so I went to two of the games, the Costa Rica and the Puerto Rico game. So yeah, I was at that game, so I hopefully can talk about it. I don't know. I was having a lot of fun, so.
That's what we'll say. So hopefully she remembers most of that. What happened? Good stuff. But no, how was it actually?
It was a lot of fun. I've said it on the show before. I hate big blowout wins. It's boring. It's not fun to watch. It is so much fun to watch live. It is a blast. Highly recommend. If it's going to be a blowout win, go to the game. A lot more fun.
Okay. I remember I got to go to actually one blowout, and actually I was there with you, Courtney, down there in D.C. a couple years back, and when we were beating it. It was fun to block. You're just cheering, jumping up and down most of the time, so I can agree with that. As much as on TV they're boring, they're actually fun to be at in person. All right, so I don't know what to even call this box. Did I call it, like, Courtney Carl? Like,
no, don't call it that.
Okay. So we'll start with Courtney first, and then Jim.
That works. Hi, everyone. It feels weird. No, it feels weird. I went from like being on or hosting the show all the time, and I've been on a couple like episodes, so I'm like glad to be back. Just chatting away, and yeah, things are good. Just been trying to catch the games when I can. Work's busy again, and all that stuff, but like we're doing all right.
All right. Jen Carl, do you have anything to add to that?
I'm just watching you do the "but that's none of my business" T-sip over there.
Yeah, that's what it was. I didn't know what to say with this. Like I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to call on them. Like box 2. What do you guys have to say about that?
So, that means I'm box 1. Yes.
We can still call on us individually, like whichever one you want to speak at that moment. Like you can still call on us individually, just because we're in the same box. We're not like attached at like the vocal cords. We can speak separately.
It was just like I'm just going to put them together in there, and that's it. I don't know.
No, you can just say like, "Hey, Jen," or like that's fine.
It just doesn't work that way. The box is one, so you get treated like just a unit within that
fine.
box.
Whoever's not talking will just sit here and look pretty while the other one talks, and the box is on the screen. Like.
Okay. And that's what's going to happen with this episode, as you can see. If you want to say something to us, as you can see, this is kicked off to be a funny one. Use the hashtag #WoSoTalk, and we'll say some of the things you've been saying to us on air. Or if you say something later, we'll answer your question, and we'll probably post it later on one of our social media networks, the Twitter. So I guess we should jump into our expectations of this game. We will start with the girl who was actually at the game, since she knows more than us. Yep. Box 1, what were your expectations going into this game?
Well, one, I'm excited to be box 1. I feel really good about that. No, my expectations were, we were saying in the car ride over, anything less than double digits would have been a disappointment. Nothing against Puerto Rico. It was just, where they are, where we are. Anything less would be sad. My expectations were, 1, double digits, like I said, and we'd start a lot of young players, which we did.
Yeah.
So I was excited to see the starting lineup. I think I expected the first half to have been, busier. I think that we got, I think it was 3 goals in the first half, maybe the fourth one right there at the end. So I expected a little more from the first half, but overall, I expected exactly what we got.
Okay, so expectations, you came in pretty excited and pumped with a lot of things. Actually, I was happy about the starting lineup, and I'll ask you this, Courtney. What were your thoughts on seeing that starting lineup?
I think I knew that there were going to be some changes. I don't think that I thought there were going to be that many changes, but like it's hard because I want to see those players against like a team not Puerto Rico. I think it's hard sometimes to judge. Like, we'll talk about performances, but I think it's sometimes hard to judge how players play. Like, it's good experience for them for sure, but I think it's difficult sometimes when they're playing against a team that's like the 108th or whatever their ranking is team. My biggest, I still would like to know what Ashlyn Harris has done to Jill Ellis to get on her bad side. Not that I'm not happy for Nair, like I'm glad somebody else that was not Hope Solo played in goal. But I just want to, they're both great. I just still want to know what Ashlyn did to piss off Ellis. But it's all good. I mean, it happened. So I'm just glad they actually for once was like, hey, this is the team we're playing. Maybe we don't have to have Hope Solo start every single game. So I was glad to see somebody else in there. So that was fine. And
Giancarlo, your expectations going in?
Like Danielle said, we pretty much got, I think, what we all expected, having, the double digits in there. One thing I was expecting that did happen was the benching of Tobin and JJ, both being on yellow cards. That made a lot of sense because we obviously didn't want to lose them for the semis and moving forward. So I was expecting that, and that happened. I don't know that I expected Nair in goal. I was hoping, again, that we would throw somebody else in there, whether it be Ashlyn or Nair. I don't know if Ash just, really pissed in her Cheerios or something, but there seems to be something going on there. Maybe it's just that Ash looks better in a suit than Jill Ellis does. I have no idea. But there's definitely something happening in that. So hopefully Ashlyn can get some time at some point prior to the Olympics. Otherwise, it's going to be hoping Nair going.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it pretty much went down as expected against a team like Puerto Rico, who they're still pretty young. They're really inexperienced. They're low ranked, but high ranked. But I mean, that they were looking for potential for growth, and I think they got it. So.
Right, yeah, that was a good challenge for him. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird with the whole Ashlyn thing. I guess, like you said, it's not the Ellis way for Ashlyn Harris to be playing. Hashtag the Ellis way. I'm trying to push that, really. So you guys start using that when we talk about Jill Ellis decisions on many of these things we like and dislike. But yeah, I guess she won't be going to Olympics unless she gets a game in here somewhere. But I don't know what to expect, really, with that.
She'll be going, whether it's the alternate or number 2, I guess. But
yeah, right, yeah. So I guess maybe it's alternate. With Puerto Rico, though, this is what I checked. They were currently ranked 108 in the FIFA rankings. That is 7. They moved up 7 spots the 18th of December because their lowest actually was 2014 when they were 123. So they've moved up, and they probably moved up a bit more after that game. Or maybe not. So we'll see. But let's talk about the first half, shall we, Courtney? What were your thoughts on some of the things you saw in the first half?
I think, I would agree with what Danielle mentioned when she was talking about expectations. It was kind of, I think it was just, I take it to, a lot of the newer players, the younger players kind of finding their footing. It wasn't necessarily the prettiest first half, but they did a good job, obviously. They scored goals and such, but I think there were some times where it was just kind of what's going on? But again, I think that's, you play all these younger players who, haven't played really or necessarily haven't started. And I think it took them a little bit to find their footing, but I think obviously it was a solid half. People you expected to do well, for the most part, did well. Get this scoring started off. Crystal Dunn has had a great game in general, but you're oh, there's Crystal Dunn already. Great, there it is. This is going to be how this goes. And I think we saw a lot of good things. When Kelly O'Hara scored her little inside runner, little back heel was just kind of. It was fun. It was fun. So I think it took them a little while to kind of get their feet together, consistently. But then once they did, obviously it was nice to see some of the younger players get involved and do, have that experience of being contributors and things like that. And I think having Carly out there and Krieger out there was helpful in the sense of, you have to have some veteran people there, and
right.
I think those were good people to have. I think it's nice. I think a lot of people forgot when they were freaking out about Krieger playing center back that she played center back for the Spirit for almost the whole season last year or the year before, 1 year. So I think kind of even in the essence of not playing JJ or Saxon, having her there with Sonnet, I think was great too, and it was kind of cool to see her. She had to, obviously organize a lot more than she would normally there. So I think it was a really fun half to watch, just because there was a lot of different things we're not used to seeing going on. I thought it made it really entertaining.
Thoughts on the second half?
Are you talking to me still?
No, I said Jen Curl. Jen Curl.
Oh, we didn't hear that. We just heard that in the second half.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. Jen Curl, your thoughts on the second half?
I can't really talk too much on like the tactical ability side because again we did play Puerto Rico, but just looking at like other things. First of all, I'm really excited that the rest of the country now knows what it's like to be a Washington Spirit fan and just watch Crystal Dunn all the time and have her do amazing things and everybody get excited about it because normally that pisses everybody but me off. So I'm really excited that that's happening. And again, just with the young players, again, watching them against Puerto Rico, it's a little bit tough to say, but getting them in there and playing them with an Allie Krieger or a Carly Lloyd or even Alyssa Nair to some extent, having her as a veteran goalkeeper in the back, that gives them a lot of confidence, and it gives them a lot of confidence to come out 10-0, even if it is against Puerto Rico. They still have that confidence built up now, and moving forward, I think that'll do very well for them. And they kind of also have an idea now of what Jill Ellis is looking for tactically, even if they couldn't necessarily execute the way they wanted to. So I think it was a good game for them. And as far as Puerto Rico goes, again, it was a good potential for growth. So I'm really proud of them as a team. They walked off the field with their heads high, even after a 10-0 loss, after an own goal, they still walked off with their heads high, and I think they learned a lot professionally and personally from our team, so it was a good second half.
All right. And now let's go to the girl that actually was at these amazing games. Who stood out to you actually in this game, and what did you like did you like the substitutions?
Yeah, well, the second half was actually right in front of me, so that was even more fun to watch, so I got to see everything. Crystal Dunn obviously stood out to me because she had a big half. I think the combination, now, when Alex Morgan came in at first, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I'm like, well, do we need her? Why risk her? But then we don't have, who else are we going to put in, We only have veterans on the bench.
Right.
So watching her and Press work together, I'm not sure how much you saw on TV because I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I was really paying attention to them and watching their chemistry and the kind of passes between them and how they work together on the field. That stood out to me a lot. It really excited me to see those two work together. So that was my big thing. And what else did you say? I have a bad memory. I'm exhausted traveling.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was saying substitutions and players who stood out. So I think you did a bit of both of them anyway. Yeah.
And then, again, like I said, the substitutions, you're like, well, why would you put in this veteran? But yeah, we had all the babies on the field. We were joking kind of during the first half that Allie and Carly were the babysitters. So then, we were like, well, they got to babysit the kids. And then, the second half, it became more of a familiar team, I guess, to the average fans. A lot of the people around me were like, oh, yay, Alex, it's the only reason I came. So those people seemed more interested.
Well, that's to be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
Just let me tell you some of these stats from this game. Just like these are like the numbers I put up in FIFA against Courtney usually. Yep. 32 shots to 1.
He's not wrong though.
See, I'm not trolling this time. This is true. 17 shots on goal to 1. Like I said, the competition was that big. So Puerto Rico was a real chance for growth. And it was also a chance for us to grow a bit too, let our young players get a chance to actually face some competition that's coming at them, no matter how big of a big difference it is. Let them get some playing time too, and in a tournament, and see how they do out there. Even though, like I said, it probably was a bit of things that we could expect, like the chemistry not being there exactly because they haven't played in a while and just not, showing a bit of rust. But overall, come on, they put up 10, so. We can't complain too much, can we now? So let's talk about our overall review of this game. We will start with you, number one, Danielle.
Yep. Just to kind of reiterate everything we've been saying, it was fun to watch. Got, our young players some experience, got Alyssa Nair in goal during a game. It was just a good, solid business performance, I think, from the team to get us to the next game.
All right. Who wants to start first in box 2? Is it going to be Jen Carl or is it going to be Courtney?
Well, me, apparently.
Okay.
Overall, I think, obviously, it was an entertaining game. Whenever you score 10 goals, I know sometimes you don't like to see that, but I think I think it was both a blowout without being like a messy blowout. Like Jen said, like props to Puerto Rico because they really like. There's points sometimes when you're getting blown out that other teams potentially would start maybe flopping around a little bit or just like making like messy tackles because they're tired or things like that. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They really played and tried and gave their all for the 90 minutes. And I think that's really awesome on their part. I do like how Ellis kept with some players maybe more performing well. I first will say, and this is going to piss a lot of people off because there's so much Hinkle hate, especially after her performance when she came in against Mexico. But I give props for Ellis for like sticking with her because she didn't have a great game when she came in as a sub. However, like you could see in this game against Puerto Rico, and again it's hard because they're playing Puerto Rico, but like you could see her confidence had grown and like she didn't let that performance against Mexico get her down. Like she came in and actually I think she did a pretty good job. While she was playing. Same thing with Sam Mewis. Sam Mewis did not have a great game by any means, but I appreciate that Ellis kept her in there and kind of let her rebuild that confidence, and she finally did get a goal. And so I think that that's important for players, especially if you're going to play the young players against a team like Puerto Rico. It's important to use that as a point to try to build their confidence. Yes, maybe like they weren't having the greatest of games, but like she stuck with them, and eventually they kind of were able to build some confidence and kind of do what they needed to do. So I think overall, like again, I'd like to see the younger players play in like a friendly against a better team just to kind of see.
Yeah.
But I think like overall it was good to get to see them all, and it was nice to see that like Ellis like stuck with them and let them kind of build the confidence instead of just pulling people for bad performance. Like I appreciate that, and like Jen said, I appreciate Puerto Rico and the fact that they didn't let things get messy. They actually like played a good game and tried and had their heads up the whole game.
That Spirit fan, your overall view on the game?
Yeah, just to kind of build off of what Courtney said, the U.S. is really good at those confidence-building moments. We saw one of them in the World Cup when JJ had that penalty in the Germany game.
Yeah.
She fouled inside the penalty box. Ellis could have pulled her out then. The rest of the players could have made her feel like crap, but the exact opposite happened. The players were all there to support her. Jill Ellis was there to support her, and she became a staple. So that's huge. That's something that we do really well, and compliments to the U.S., both team and coach, for doing that. But yeah, otherwise, pretty much just kind of what everybody said already. It was a blowout. It was to be expected. We won't know a lot as far as tactical or skill position from these younger players until we see them against a better opponent. But yeah, overall, I was happy. I always like seeing people score goals, especially when it's Crystal Dunn scoring 5.
So a happy Spirit fan makes for a happy panel. Yeah, that's the only thing I ask for. I just can't wait to see them against better competition because I knew I wasn't going to be able to really judge too much other than see who actually goes out here and just tries to really dominate, because this is some competition they really should try to dominate against. Which player, one of the young players, really tries to step their game up even more. But, I mean, we kind of expected this to happen, and Crystal Dunn, really, she's the one who grabbed the moment, and I feel like we feel like she's a staple for the next every year she decides to play. So I wanted to see one of the other ones, like a McCaffrey or something, do something, but overall I can't complain. I'm not going to complain. It was 10-0, right? So I'm just picking for stuff at this moment right now. Other than that, let's see other news and stories. I guess talk about the little stuff that's going off the post. You girls have any other news or something you want to mention?
Danielle does.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
Oh, okay. You mean the snub?
Yeah.
I've been processing it all day because I kind of threw a fit on Twitter and kind of tweeted a lot from the Blue Crew account, and then it just got messy because somebody brought some trash into our mentions against Lauren because Lauren Holiday replied. It's just been overall a mess. But Becky, not on that list, is not okay. But I'm not sure how to express my anger without pissing a lot of people off. I'm just saying. So.
Well, this show's done that before. This show has done that many times before.
I'm just saying that Klingon there is not.
That's what I was about to say. I'm not going to say it, but I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that. And I love JJ. I love her to death. she's one of my favorite players. Becky's on there 100% over JJ. I mean, it's crazy to think the opposite. So.
I don't know. This is my opinion. When it's supposed to be FIFA starting 11s, do you guys look at it like? Because this is my view for the men's game. The 11 they pick are supposed to be all world-class players. Like you're supposed to say they are the best in their position. This is a world-class left back. This is a world-class center. That's what I looked at it as, and I was like, then how is she not on there? Could I looked at it the same way for the women's? Like it's supposed to be all the world-class, top of the top players. She's the best in her position. She showed, but
she is the best defender in the world, and I don't think it's an argument at this point. I would be willing to take arguments, but I don't think it is. But she is definitely, if not the best, top 2.
And the thing is, when I saw Kling, like you said, when you mentioned her, I didn't want to say it because I was like, this is going to piss off some Kling fans or something. I don't consider her world class. So and you can have a good tournament, but I just feel like I don't know, the list is supposed to be like the top world-class players, and I don't view her like that, but that's personal opinion. Maybe you all have a different view of what a world-class player left back is, or maybe there's just not enough left backs in the world that you can pick a world-class one, so naturally you choose a player from the team that won the World Cup. But that's just me. I'm not going to get into it. I'll leave it. I'll let that die. I'll let Danielle fight that battle since she's been doing a good job at it.
Sometimes I work at work. Just today didn't seem to be one of those days.
Understandable. All right. Do you guys have anything to say, Courtney or Jen? Do you have anything you want to add to that, or even any other news?
No, I'm excited. Well, I'm cautiously excited about the fact that the Flash are announcing a coach tomorrow. I think it's about time. I think it's scary that at this point and they don't have one yet. But they do actually, and they're going to announce him or her via press conference tomorrow. And for the lovely viewers maybe watching the show, I would be real interested in seeing who y'all think is going to be the coach of the Flash. It'll be interesting. I mean, I'll be glad there's a coach. It'll be interesting to see who that coach is. And yeah, I think that they're so many things that need to be put into place, and so I think from the Flash camp we're all kind of in silence mode because there's not really been a coach, and so there's not really been a lot of coverage of the Flash anyways, because it's kind of well, who do we talk to? I mean, that's not true. I guess Equalizer Soccer has done some, and speaking to the GM Rich Randall, but in general, also I think it's interesting. They've already mentioned that. I know people are concerned about the Flash this year because they're there's no star players. But an article I think in Equalizer Soccer that mentioned that they were going to be announcing a coach this week also mentioned that they've already surpassed sponsorship revenue from last year, so that's a great sign. We're hoping to still obviously have butts in the seat to provide revenue also in support of the team, but I think a lot of people who are well, the Flash are going down this year, blah blah, they're going to fold. I think the fact that they're making good business decisions is also a good thing for the future also, and they're going to be playing on hopefully new turf this year. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. And as far as news goes, I'm looking forward to the actual announcement of the Flash coach and kind of see how things will get put in place after that.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. And Jen, do you have anything you want to say, or you're all good for today?
NWSL schedule got released today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So I will be once again going to a buttload of games, filming a bunch of shenanigans going on from most of the northern teams, from Boston, well, northeast, from Boston to Chicago to up here in western New York,
Ditto.
Down to D.C. I'll be in New Jersey. So I will be everywhere. So anybody who is at those games, say hi. I'm really, really hard to miss. I'm that really big, obnoxious person, normally wearing the one Spirit jersey at the away game. So,
okay.
Remind me.
Remember this box. Remember box 2, because I will also be at several of those games as well. So
just yell out, hi, box 2, and we'll know.
Remember box 2 with our nice
if someone says that, that'd be hilarious.
Hey, box 2.
Yeah. Box 1 is excited because Box 1 gets to go to every FCKC home game again because there's only one weekday game, which if anyone knows so the first season I didn't live in the Midwest, but season 2 we had 4 home games, season 3 we had 5, and we all thought that there was going to be more this year because somebody Swope Park Rangers, which is MLS affiliated, is going to use it. But we only have a Friday game, so I am so excited and proud of my team, and I just wanted to say that.
Nice.
So come say hi to Box One if you're ever at an FCKC game. I'll be on the hill with Blue Crew.
I have a question for Danielle, actually. I don't know if you saw the schedule that one of the games is announces TBA for location. Do you think they're going to try to end up playing, I don't know what the name of the stadium is called, but where, like...
CM Park?
Sure, wherever the...
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that they're potentially working on, just in your opinion? Oh, you don't know because you can't say anything. Okay, well, there's that. My bad. Sorry, Danielle.
Well, so I think it was a Sky Blue. So opener aside, whatever might or may not happen, I saw one that was a TBD, and I honestly have no idea. But last year when we did the opener at Sporting Park, it was then, the idea was we were going to have more games there. And it just never happened. I think we were supposed to have a Houston game, and it just kind of fell through. So if it's anything like last year, maybe. I think it's called Child Mercy's Park now.
I didn't even know it changed names, so thank you for that bit of information. I still thought it was Sporting Park, and I couldn't even think of that name. So.
I'm going to call it Sporting Park anytime I talk about it because I am just like that. That's who I am as a person.
That's fair. But I just was curious what your thoughts are because we saw that and we were like, TBD, maybe they're trying to find a place to play. Great.
Nope, we are at Swope Park. We actually have a home, the same home 2 years in a season, so go us.
I'm curious. I don't remember where their Breakers played last year. I don't remember what it was called. But they're playing at Jordan Park. This is like a different location this year. I don't know if. I guess if there's any Breakers fans out there, like, let us know. I guess, like, if that's a new, because I don't think it wasn't called that last year. I don't think it was called Jordan Park last year. So I'm just curious if either the name of the park changed or they're playing somewhere different again. This would be like every year Boston has changed location for their games. So, they played they played behind. They didn't play at Harvard Stadium. They played at Harvard Stadium last year. They played at Harvard, but it was a different park. It was like a soccer.
Yeah.
It was like a smaller location. It wasn't the Harvard Stadium that they played in the year before.
No, but I remember.
It was at Harvard. So Breakers fans, I mean, we'll do some research also. Forgive me for not looking that up before I mentioned it. I probably could have just Googled it. But if you're aware of any information about where the Breakers are playing this year, let us know because I'm super curious.
Well, I'll use that.
Someone we saw a little message. Same place for Boston, different name. Thank you, Jen Hayes, for letting us know that. But never mind all that. Same place. That was a nice little field last year, so that's great. But it's different. Breakers fans, if we're people coming in from out of town, different name, still the same place. Thank you, Jen.
I'll still get lost.
No, you won't.
All right. That was actually a good little NWSL segment that just happened randomly, so that was nice, guys. Very
I should have changed my overlay.
Right. I know, right? Other than that, prepare for it in March. Well, actually, we're going to have a show February. Let's look at the short term. February 22nd, we're going to have a show to wrap up this whole tournament where we dominated and whooped every team minus Mexico. Let's see. She Believe tournaments. We're going to talk about that, all right? All right.
February 20th, we're having a show because we're having a show Saturday also.
Oh, then maybe that's, I don't know. I got to check the dates.
Saturday.
Didn't we plan it this morning?
Yeah, it was
22nd.
22nd, that's what I meant. Whatever Saturday is, that's when the show is, I think, or whatever. It's 20th and 22nd. So we're having shows back to back. Because I remember I was having that argument. I forgot what that 20th show. I'm like, oh, yeah, I already planned that. Sorry, that's me just over planning and stuff. Yeah, so look forward to those shows Saturday and then show after to talk about the wrap up. That She Believes tournament, oh, that name is going to kill me. We're going to have a name, we're going to have do episodes for that. And then spotlights, because we have a schedule, so spotlights. We'll learn about where the Boston Breakers play. We'll learn about where your favorite team plays. And look for that, because we're going to have special guests and supporters on for all the spotlights. Other than that, that's everything I have to say. That's everything they have to say. Let's see, let's wrap. No, put that hand down. You are not waving until I tell you to wave. You put that hand down now. Okay, stop it. You stop that now. This is another episode of Off the Post, and I'm your host, DJ Redcap. You may now raise those hands and wave. All right, bye. Have a good time. I'm kind of